Spring, 2003. A gymnasium in the fading light of late afternoon. The air thick with the smell of polished wood and old leather, mingled with a faint metallic tang of sweat that has settled into the walls over decades. Outside, cherry blossoms fall in silence, their petals drifting past windows that no one watches. Inside, the squeak of rubber soles against hardwood echoes in rhythmic intervals, urgent, precise, almost desperate. In the corner of the court, beneath a scoreboard frozen at 87 to 89, sits a single worn basketball. It rests motionless, its surface scuffed and faded, the orange leather dulled by 1,000 practices, 1,000 games, 1,000 moments where everything hung in balance. The light from the high windows cuts across the empty bleachers in sharp geometric patterns, illuminating dust particles that dance like tiny witnesses to something that has already ended. The clock on the wall reads 6:47. The second hand moves forward with mechanical indifference. Tick, tick, tick. And in that sound, that relentless patient counting, there is a truth that takes a lifetime to hear. His name was Marcus Chen, and for 28 years, he had built his identity on a foundation of victories. Not the metaphorical kind that self-help books celebrate, but real, tangible, documented wins. State championship medals hanging in his childhood bedroom. Newspaper clippings yellowed with time but preserved behind glass. Scholarship letters from universities that saw in him what he saw in himself, a winner. His father kept a scrapbook, thick and heavy, leather-bound with gold embossing that read excellence. Inside were photographs of Marcus holding trophies, standing on podiums, shaking hands with coaches and officials who smiled the way people smile at potential realized. His mother kept the scrapbook on the living room coffee table, positioned carefully so visitors would notice it without her having to mention it. And she never had to mention it. People always noticed. Marcus had learned early that winning was not just about the score. It was about identity. It was about how people looked at you, how they said your name with a particular inflection that separated you from everyone else. In high school, he was Marcus Chen, captain of the varsity team. In college, Marcus Chen, all-conference forward. After graduation, when professional opportunities didn't materialize quite as expected, he became Marcus Chen, regional sales champion, at a pharmaceutical company that rewarded top performers with plaques and bonuses and parking spaces closer to the building entrance. The specifics changed, but the formula remained constant. Set a goal, outwork everyone, claim the prize, repeat. This was not ego, he told himself. This was discipline. This was what separated those who succeeded from those who merely participated. But there was a flaw in this architecture, invisible as a hairline fracture in a load-bearing wall. Marcus had built his sense of worth entirely on external validation, on comparative achievement, on being better than. He measured himself not against his own potential or values, but against the performance of others. Every colleague was a competitor. Every social gathering became an informal ranking system where he calculated his position. When friends shared their accomplishments, he listened with half his attention, the other half already formulating how to demonstrate his own superiority. Not maliciously, he genuinely believed this was how life worked. You competed, or you were left behind. You won, or you lost. There was no third option, no middle ground, no alternative narrative that made sense to him. His wife, Sarah, had tried to tell him. Not directly, because she learned early in their marriage that direct criticism triggered defensiveness, but through gentle questions that he always deflected. Do you think maybe we could spend this weekend just relaxing? Not at the company conference, not networking, just us. He would smile, kiss her forehead, explain that the conference was an investment in their future, that relaxation was what people did when they'd already made it, and they weren't there yet. Not quite. There was always one more promotion, one more milestone, one more achievement that would finally be enough. She stopped asking after a while. Her questions became quieter, her presence in the house somehow less tangible, as if she were slowly fading into the background of his ambition. He noticed vaguely, the way one notices a change in season, aware of it happening but not considering what it meant. They had a daughter, Emma, who turned 7 in March. She drew pictures that she left on his desk, crayon sketches of stick figures holding hands, awkward flowers in impossible colors, hearts with their names written in shaky letters. He kept them in a drawer, meaning to put them up somewhere, always intending to but never quite finding the time. There were reports to finish, clients to impress, quarterly reviews that determined bonuses. Emma's school had a father-daughter breakfast once. Sarah mentioned it twice. He had a crucial presentation that morning, couldn't be moved, everyone would understand. Sarah said Emma would understand. And she did understand, in the way children understand when something is explained to them but feels fundamentally wrong. She stopped leaving drawings on his desk after that. He didn't notice the absence. The human mind is remarkably skilled at constructing narratives that justify our behavior. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance reduction, the mental gymnastics we perform to align our actions with our self-image. Marcus told himself he was working hard for his family. That everything he did, the long hours, the constant striving, the relentless pursuit of the next achievement, was ultimately for them. This is a common pattern, particularly among high-achieving individuals. The goalpost always moves. The enough never arrives. Because the pursuit itself has become the identity, and stopping would mean confronting what lies beneath, the fear that without the achievements, without the wins, there is nothing remarkable left. Just an ordinary person living an ordinary life, indistinguishable from the masses who never climbed the podium. He thought life rewarded those who refused to settle. But life was preparing him through the lessons he kept pushing away. The turning point arrived not with drama, but with quiet inevitability, the way a foundation finally gives way after years of small compromises. It was October when the company announced restructuring. Corporate language, sanitized and impersonal, strategic realignment, efficiency optimization, difficult but necessary decisions. Marcus had seen this happen to others, watched colleagues pack their desks while management assured everyone remaining that their positions were secure. He never worried. His numbers were always good. Better than good. He was consistently in the top 10%. He had the plaques. He had the parking space.